A shadow moved across the Seattle skyline at 3:47 a.m. on a Tuesday morning that would change everything. Security cameras at Boeing's Everett facility captured something that made intelligence analysts' blood run cold. An unidentified aerial vehicle hovering silently above one of America's most critical defense manufacturing sites. What happened next triggered the largest counterintelligence operation on US soil in decades. Before we dive into this unprecedented security breach, hit that subscribe button right now and comment below where you think this technology came from. Because what you're about to discover will fundamentally change how you view modern warfare. The age of invisible threats has arrived, and this incident proves we're far less protected than anyone wants to admit. The Boeing Everett factory sprawls across 98 acres of Washington state, producing some of the most advanced military aircraft in existence. On any given night, billions of dollars worth of classified technology sits inside those massive hangars, protected by what experts considered impenetrable security systems. That confidence evaporated when radar systems detected an anomaly that shouldn't have been possible. The object measured approximately 6 feet in diameter, moving with a flight pattern that defied conventional drone behavior. It maintained perfect stability despite 40-mile-per-hour winds, suggesting propulsion technology far beyond commercial capabilities. More disturbing was its electromagnetic signature, or rather, the calculated absence of one that allowed it to slip past multiple detection layers. Within minutes of detection, F-15 Eagles from Joint Base Lewis McChord scrambled into the pre-dawn darkness. Pilots reported visual confirmation of the craft, describing a matte black hexagonal design, unlike anything in known aerial databases. The drone's surface appeared to absorb light rather than reflect it, making visual tracking nearly impossible even at close range. When interceptors moved to engage, the object performed maneuvers that generated G-forces no human pilot could survive. Air Force Colonel Sarah Mitchell, who commanded the response, later testified before closed congressional hearings about what happened next. The drone descended rapidly towards the factory's main assembly building, the one housing next-generation stealth bomber components. Ground teams evacuated personnel as electromagnetic interference began disrupting communications across a 2-mile radius. Cell phones died simultaneously, vehicle electronics failed, and backup generators struggled to maintain power to critical systems. This wasn't a reconnaissance mission. Intelligence agencies quickly identified the hallmarks of an electromagnetic pulse delivery system specifically designed to cripple electronic infrastructure without causing physical destruction. The technology represented a nightmare scenario that defense planners had wargamed for years, but never encountered in reality. If activated at full capacity over a populated area, such a device could send an entire city back to the pre-digital age in seconds. The craft hovered for exactly 7 minutes and 32 seconds before executing an escape trajectory that left pursuing aircraft far behind. It climbed vertically at speeds exceeding 600 miles per hour, then disappeared from all tracking systems over the Pacific Ocean. Naval assets searched for days, but found nothing, suggesting the drone either self-destructed or rendezvoused with a recovery vehicle beyond territorial waters. Forensic analysis of the electromagnetic signature revealed sophisticated frequency hopping technology consistent with North Korean military research programs. Intelligence sources confirmed that Pyongyang had been developing EMP weaponry for over a decade, viewing it as an asymmetric advantage against technologically superior adversaries. Recent defector testimonies described secret facilities near Yongbyon, dedicated to miniaturizing pulse generators for drone deployment. The implications extend far beyond a single incident. If hostile actors can penetrate American airspace with electromagnetic weapons, every power grid, hospital, data center, and military installation becomes vulnerable. Modern society's dependence on electronics transforms EMP technology into a civilization-ending threat that requires no nuclear detonation. One successful attack over a major metropolitan area could cause casualties through infrastructure collapse that would dwarf conventional terrorism. Boeing's response exposed uncomfortable truths about corporate security preparedness. Despite spending millions annually on counter-drone systems, the facility had no effective defense against this level of sophistication. Traditional jamming techniques proved useless against the craft's adaptive communication protocols. Even directed energy weapons, designed specifically for drone interdiction, couldn't acquire a stable lock on the radar-invisible target. The investigation revealed a troubling pattern of similar incursions across multiple sensitive locations. Over the previous 18 months, at least 14 unexplained aerial anomalies had been documented near critical infrastructure sites from California to Virginia. Each incident involved craft displaying advanced stealth capabilities and electromagnetic interference signatures. The Seattle encounter was simply the first time authorities managed to collect detailed sensor data before the object escaped. North.
Korea's drone program has evolved dramatically since crude surveillance attempts in
2014. Recent satellite imagery shows expanded testing,
facilities and runway modifications.
consistent with long-range unmanned systems development. Experts believe Pyongyang now possesses the capability to launch swarms of EMP drones from submarines or disguised fishing vessels, potentially striking targets deep inside hostile territory with minimal warning. The technology itself represents a convergence of several emerging threats. Modern EMP generators can fit inside packages smaller than a suitcase, powered by compact flux compression systems that generate massive electromagnetic pulses. When combined with autonomous navigation, stealth materials, and electronic warfare suites,
these devices become nearly undetectable.
Weapons that can paralyze critical infrastructure
Without crossing traditional
thresholds of armed conflict. Congressional hearings following the Seattle incident exposed catastrophic gaps in Homeland Defense architecture. Senator Robert Chang questioned Pentagon officials about why billions spent on air defense couldn't stop a single drone over one of the nation's most important military production facilities. The answers revealed uncomfortable truths about detection limitations, response protocols,
and the fundamental vulnerability of systems designed for conventional threats. Military analysts warn that the Seattle incident may have been a probing mission,
testing American response capabilities and identifying weaknesses for future exploitation. The drone's flight path suggested detailed knowledge of security zones, sensor placement, and response times. This level of intelligence indicates either extensive surveillance operations or information provided by insider sources, both possibilities that intelligence agencies are investigating with maximum urgency. The electromagnetic pulse itself deserves deeper examination. Unlike nuclear EMP, which affects enormous areas indiscriminately, these drone-delivered systems can target specific facilities with surgical precision. The Seattle device generated an estimated peak electric field of 50,000 volts per meter within a 500-foot radius, enough to permanently damage unshielded electronics while leaving structures physically intact.
Recovery would require replacing every affected circuit board,
a process taking months for complex industrial facilities. Boeing has since implemented enhanced counter-drone measures, including experimental high-energy laser systems and artificial intelligence-driven threat detection. Similar upgrades are being rushed to defense contractors nationwide, at costs exceeding $2 billion. The challenge lies in defending against adversaries who can iterate and adapt faster than bureaucratic procurement processes can respond. International implications complicate response options. North Korea's development of EMP drone technology violates no specific treaties, existing in a legal gray zone between conventional weapons and weapons of mass destruction. Diplomatic pressure has achieved little, as Pyongyang views these capabilities as essential deterrents against regime change operations. Meanwhile, other nations are undoubtedly developing similar systems, triggering an arms race in electromagnetic warfare that few citizens even know exists. The human factor adds another dimension to this crisis. Workers at the Boeing facility described the psychological impact of knowing their workplace had been violated by technology they couldn't see or understand. The invisible nature of electromagnetic threats creates anxiety that traditional security measures cannot address. How do you defend against something that leaves no visible trace, makes no sound, and strikes faster than human reflexes can detect? Technical countermeasures under development include hardened Faraday cage structures for critical equipment,
quantum radar systems that detect stealth objects through entanglement signatures,
and directed microwave weapons that can disable electronics at range.
Implementation across thousands of vulnerable sites will require decades and resources that compete with countless other national priorities. The question becomes not whether we can defend everything, but what we're willing to leave unprotected. This incident forces a fundamental reassessment of what constitutes national security in an age where the most devastating attacks might come not from missiles or bombers, but from silent drones no larger than a coffee table.
The Seattle intrusion proved that technological superiority alone cannot guarantee safety. When adversaries develop asymmetric capabilities specifically designed to exploit our dependencies. Every connected device, every automated system, every digital network becomes a potential target in this new paradigm of warfare. The story continues
to unfold as intelligence agencies track the technology's proliferation to other state actors and potentially non-state groups.
What happened over Seattle represents not an isolated incident, but a preview of conflicts to come, where victory belongs to whoever can most effectively weaponize the electromagnetic spectrum. Subscribe now and follow this developing story, because the next target could be the infrastructure you depend on every single day. Retry Claude can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.